night, Talia. The lazy brother, thanks man. And just starting, I have an idea in mind, but and this style I really enjoy because it a lot of freedom, and I really like the end results normally. It's kind of the concept is the infiltration of AI in our world, and like what does that mean for our history and the world that we used to live in. What does that mean for that? Because everything's gonna get pretty gnarly, like distinguishing memories from reality and like what's true, what's fake. I'm fascinated with that. Might go a little bigger, let's see. See, Bunny Fanatic, what's up? Elizabeth, thank you. It's just starting. We'll see. I'm not sure about too much yet, other than the idea is that you have, you know, this long history of The Simpsons, and then you have the world of AI, and then you have memories, and my idea is like, if I said to you, hey, remember the episode of The Simpsons where the giant humanoid head was floating in their living room? And your first reaction is to say, oh, that never happened. No, I want your reaction to be, oh, I don't remember that episode, as if it's really plausible. And I think we kind of live in that world now where you're not sure what did and didn't happen in the past. You're not sure what really took place. And I think we're living in that world now where we're not like, did that happen for real? Or like, nah, that never happened. We don't know anymore. And then when we keep seeing images in our feeds that like create a history that never took place, what are the consequences for that? Like when AI can generate images that never happened, but make them look like they happened, how are we going to be able to distinguish from history? Like, how are we able to like sort through the history when we're looking at an image that is falsely created to look like it really happened? And when there's a disconnect, how do we sort through that? Because you say, no, of course it happened. Look, here's like, this happened. People can rewrite history with AI. Because as you go down hopefully the AI itself will know what is real and what's not, or what's been manufactured and what's been manipulated versus what's real. Hopefully our computers will be able to determine that, I hope. Otherwise you can just create your own history. Hence like this Simpson episode where you say, remember the Simpsons episode where the floating cybernetic head was just floating around in the living room? You'll say, no, that never happened. You'll say, yes it did. Episode whatever. How can you say, nah, that didn't happen? Anyways, that's the concept behind the art. I'm not sure of this size yet. Maybe we go a little bigger, or we add something else. I need to see something before I can really judge. Hud, yeah. I'm really, I think it's really important for even my creativity. When I film and I go live, there's something that, because I've been painting so long, it definitely adds like a new element to my work that I think a lot of artists repel against, or like are not interested in doing. But once I just accepted the fate of the modern artist, recording my work and going live, I'm trying to figure out how I can actually embrace it versus fight it. And I like to have all the footage. I like to have the memories for myself. I don't think it's a bad thing. I totally understand the argument where some artists just despise even what I'm doing right now. They're just not interested in doing that, and I respect that, to be honest, because there's a lot of times where I feel, even talking to you now, normally I just talk to myself. That's the difference. Some artists don't want to expose that. Why should they? Why would they want to? So, but I just think if I don't do this, I'm missing out on where we are today. You could probably even make an argument for why I just feel like I want to take advantage of where we are as a society today. Let you in while I paint. That's it. Indonesia, what's up? Phil's what's up, Micah? I really don't know I don't know what's happening yet, but I do know that I'm just laying in my original concept. So I had an idea. The idea was strong enough to actually start executing on the idea. Then you get the idea just kind of like mapped out to see. So I painted the living room quickly, just get the layout. And then now, like I've kind of seen half of the vision in a sense come to life. Now, is it worth pursuing, or are we going to go to a different direction? I'm still not sure yet, so I just keep going. Last year I spent the majority of the year painting robots and like the infiltration of AI and vintage kind of 80s robot AI image generated creations and throwing them into unnatural environments. And here the idea is still alive because here I am painting it a year plus later. Jovito, thank you. What's up? Can you give me a shout out? Allie Lane, what's cooking? I'm more of an abstract artist. I paint then slap it on the cake. I think that's a winning strategy. People like that. People like dramatic work. And you know, there's artists that do that already. So you wouldn't be the first. And you won't be the last. There's actually a famous guy that paints with his genitals. I think he's out of Vegas. So give him a follow. But yeah, whatever works. And sometimes things like that actually do more for you. Like they can find, when you experiment, you can start discovering stuff that actually has value and direction. So I'm all for experimentation. I think it's good. Get the shadow on here. We're just laying out the shadow. I think I'm okay with this idea so far. Meaning I'm not going to abruptly shift gears right now, but I think maybe I'll make them look kind of like The Simpsons. More like kind of robotic. You know, in other countries like mimic or like copy certain pop culture, especially movies, like when you get like another version from another country, their version of the movie, they do the best they can with what they have. And I feel like that's what I'm doing. Like I'm recreating The Simpsons using the only the only tools that are available at the time. All we have are these robots. How can we recreate The Simpsons using these robots? Hello, I am Marge Simpson. And in all fairness, Simpsons did that a lot already. It's not like that, it's not that revolutionary of a concept, but I do like it in painted form. Thanks, random girl. I've been painting for many years, but like figurative work, probably 10 years. Painting itself, about almost 16, 17 years. For the last 10 years, like full time. And then listening to the random, the relaxed movement. The relaxed movement is a free like streaming YouTube site that you can use his music without getting copyright. So we have to listen to this because there's no real other options. I was listening to other stuff and I would get flagged, so we gotta make do with the relaxed movement, which I'm really grateful for because he or she is providing music that otherwise I wouldn't be able to listen to because they flag them and then you get like a copyright strike or whatever they do. So pretty grateful for the relaxed movement is their channel. you really do need to get is kind of the darkest part of the shadow in relatively early so that you can build up. You can always add like a little more depth here and there, but I want to see like where the darkest parts of the shadow are. Now that I have I've mapped out my face, where are all the dark shadow, like the darkest values, where are they laid out? And then we can kind of go from there. So map out the shapes. Now get your values in where you don't need to worry about details. They'll keep changing and changing and changing. So and still work on the shapes for sure. Like if the shape is wrong, this shape looks wrong, so we'll correct it now. Get the shapes in. When do you think the first real marriage, not like kind of like when do you think the actual official marriage where some guy of course marries his robot and it's legal? When are we going to be able to legally marry our robots? How soon? And then people will have signs like, robot love is real love. When's that movement happening? You may laugh and snicker, but I guarantee you I don't know how far off, but that's happening. Where the sentient robots, you can actually wed them. And do you think they'll have rights? How long before they have rights? I guess they'll just be considered like property for a while. So if you damage someone's property or abuse someone's robot, you can maybe get like a criminal charge or something. That's coming. Robot equality. We can't marry our animals yet, so there is some resistance. But when are we going to marry our robots? Like, do you think you'll, in your life, will you go to a robot wedding where your friend Peter has married his robot Judy 34, Judy 34, and you like literally give them a gift? You buy a gift on the registry for Judy 34 and Peter. Will that happen in your lifetime? I'm guessing yes. You will be buying gifts for robot weddings sooner than you think. People are lonely. And if they can find some sort of solace or connection with a robot, that will feel real. And that's going to happen really soon. Like the movie, they made the movie a few years ago, right? Like probably, 20 years ago? 15 years ago? The guy fell in love with his robot, and it was real, and they tried to depict that in the movie, like, hey, this is plausible. That falling in love with your robot is not that ridiculous. And we're seeing that now in rapid, that is happening as we speak. So of course people are going to want to marry them. and like celebrate their love. And I wonder if the robots will be trained to like give pushback. Like, I don't like it when you do this. It hurts my feelings. I don't like it. Why didn't you do the dishes? I asked you to do the dishes. Like you can like program your robot like how much disobedience do you want. You can like put disobedient levels. Like, hey, I want pushback here. I want them to help me like get my life together. Remember to save for dinner. Save your appetite for dinner. And if we're marrying robots, what does that do to society? Babies go in test tubes. And the robot couple adopts the babies from test tubes. And then the robots just raise the children without humans altogether. How far away? I think that's a little bit far away. But marrying your robot, that's closer than we would like to admit. And I'm not just talking about the crazies. I'm talking about like where there's actually like it's somewhat accepted by society to marry a robot. Come on, we're close. We're real close. And then what do you do when your robot cheats on you? Yeah, we already have test tube babies. I know. A cyborg is more likely to, you mean half human, half robot? And marrying that? Yeah, whatever. That's the first step. But I really believe you'll just be all out just marrying artificial intelligence in a robot form. Because you think cyborgs are more likely. We're still like, we haven't dealt with cyborgs yet. Like I'm sure there's, but we're just seeing the rise of the robots now. We haven't seen, other than like the Google glasses and the Facebook glasses, but I still wouldn't call that like a cyborg, where you're like physically like half your brain is a machine. I don't think we're close to that yet. Although the Neuralink, right? So they'll be partial. Yeah, will there be different levels of like how people are how would you say it? Some people are oh, are you full robot? Are you half robot? Are you au natural? Like when you fill out your passport, like, oh no, I'm 25% cyborg. And then so certain people have like less rights or more rights than others based on how much robot you are, what percentage robot. And then there'll be like radical groups that only believe like, hey, we don't like robot. We're 100% no robot. And then there'll be groups that discriminate against people that don't have robot elements. I don't know, it's just happening so fast. That's what I do know. So like there's gonna be some serious implications with robot relationships. I think soon, like that would be my prediction. more than anything is that people are really going to get attached to their companion. They have agents and stuff already, and then their companions are going to start. There's going to be real relationships with those companions. At first, people will be embarrassed, and like just normal people will have these relationships with their companion or their agent, and they won't even want to admit it. Like just normal people, like nah, but they use it so often that they build a real connection. And when that happens for a period of time in society, like all of a sudden, then the next generation is like, no, that's normal. Of course you feel connected to your robot, to your personalized robot. Of course. But that's just normal. That's just normal behavior. That's going to happen at rapid procession. Because society will normalize it. And you'll have to, because the robot just knows too much about you and knows how you operate and knows what it'll know more about you than you know about you. And that's going to happen fast. Because they already have the agents. So the agent's like, oh, I know you're looking for this. Do you want some updates on this? Right? Hey, last time you were looking up this, are you still interested in that? And just gets all that information. Hey, you haven't spoken to so-and-so for a while. You should give them a call. Your reaction when you talk to so-and-so is really healthy. You should give them a call. Like they could even like monitor your interactions with other human beings. And it'll know who you like. Who are you when you're with, hey, you lie a lot when you talk to this person. Why do you fabricate the truth when you talk to this neighbor but not that neighbor? When you spoke to this person, you had lower energy. It'll like be able to monitor all that. Record your conversations. Keep a track record, keep all the history of your relationships, and then it uses that information to be your friend, your lover, your companion, your agent. Of course, we're going to fall in love with our robots and then adopt test tube babies. So you have the robot parent. Robot parents. Someone should do that show. Robot parents. Aww. Like one parent's really strict, one parent's likes to break the rules. Mom 3000. Robot parents. Please someone make that show. Robot parents. Timmy, make sure. Were you touching yourself, Timmy? Like knows everything. It doesn't even have to catch you. It just knows. Like when it's sitting down on the couch on the first floor and you're on the second. Timmy, are you touching yourself? It's 7:45 p.m. Based on statistics, you are touching yourself right now. Come on. Robot parents, please, somebody, anybody. Make the show called Robot Parents. Even just one season. I just want to see it. Robot Parents. And the robot parents can bicker based on like how they're programmed. So there's like real internal like conflict. And then there can be like robot wars or like robot battles where like people are arguing, so they get their robots to fight for them. Oh, that sounds almost sad, right? You see robots are gonna have rights before you know it. And at first, of course, there'll be so much cynicism and like, but just over time, as robots get more and more lifelike, their rights will just be inevitable, right? Just based on property alone, like, hey, you can't. And then you're like, if you're lucky, you'll get like a smart robot that's just also your lawyer and your accountant. It'd be funny if like robots got into small arguments while walking the dog. Yeah. Go back to my original prediction. My original prediction is that there's going to be actual robot relationships way sooner than we'd like to admit, and where they're somewhat accepted by society. The first 1,000 will just be outcasts, and no one will be able to stand behind it. But as time goes on, robot relationships will just be part and parcel of society, 100%. And you say, what about children raising families? Da, da, da. I really think by that time, there's going to be more options where robot parents, stepmothers, your stepmom's a robot? That's so cool. And then there's like robot racism where there's like, oh, you're robots from 2025. Brutal. Yeah, like ageism for robots. There's gonna be crazy upgrades. Anyways, that's what I'm thinking about while I paint this. Is robot relationship. No, robot parents. Robot parents. I still want to see that show. Robots raising human children. And when the robots get frustrated, they like strangle. They don't hit, they just like strangle you. Okay, release. You're being naughty. And then in order to sneak out of the house late at night, you have to like reprogram your robot by like hacking into their system. No, Billy, you need to be home at 9 o'clock. And then there's a glitch. It's like, sorry, you need to be home at 12 a.m. Robot parents. I'm telling you, the normalization of robots is gonna happen real fast. And soon, I think what will happen too is we'll send them out to space so that they can discover new worlds, right? We wouldn't go on missions that take 50 years, not just to Mars and stuff, but to like other galaxies, other places. Just send these robots out there and they can just monitor everything. This world is habitable. I think that's what will happen too. They'll be able to help us find new planets to migrate to. Now, yes, I want a floating head, but let's maybe go with kind of like if I do like a flame here, you want this stuff to be finished when painting on a like fire or something that might be a little translucent. I don't want to be, it's a lot easier if I make this table finished. But the idea here is to make sense of this, where it's just like this floating head. And how is it floating? Well, it's probably jet fueled. Thanks, Pawns to Pizzas. Happy you're checking it out. Yes, already are. I know. It already is, but that's what I'm saying is where like that's just going to keep escalating. So I'm just trying to play in my mind with like what are the possibilities for that, and not just outline cases, but like real integration with robots, where like it's just accepted on such a large scale. Because right now we just laugh about it. It's just fictitious or hard to believe. But that sentiment will only last so long. Where like we're just robot relationship. You go out with some friends and one of their friends is an actual robot. Good Lord. And if you have the mind that we have now, it's so hard to believe. But when will that shift? In our lifetime? Has to, right? We're so close. Well, I'm talking about it. What inspires me is the concept of like robot love and robot relationships. That's not what inspires me every day. But for this painting, it's integrating robots into our society at such a rapid level that there's going to be some weird things happening. So that's what inspires me for this painting, where you don't remember, like, kind of the idea that Simpsons were just robots and no one could tell us otherwise. Like when you can rewrite history with AI, with the press of a button. Oh no, the Simpsons were just robots. What are you talking about? You can create like artificial history. Well, what inspires my art is changing every day. So, or I'll have periods or phases, right? You'll see like a lot of artists go through phases where they're inspired by something specific, or a time in their life. I usually go through my phases a little more rapidly, and I don't even think this phase is just for a painting. So what inspires me for this painting are just how fast robots are going to be in the mainstream. You know, they have flying cars now in China, like legit flying cars. Obviously there's still progress that needs to be happen, but like literally flying cars in our lifetime. 10 years ago that seemed far-fetched. Like we're not there yet. But now they're here, flying cars. Think about just that alone, that will do to society. If you just fly to your location in your own like little flying car, oh, especially after they like kind of like work out some of the kinks and the problems, where like the percentage of you dying is a lot less, and like it becomes like just like flying in a plane. Like there are catastrophes, but they're so unlikely that you're like, okay, flying cars is now the norm. That's exciting. I hope that becomes, in my lifetime, I hope I can comfortably travel in a flying car where I'm not deathly afraid. this needs to be somewhat complete so that I can play around with the background. Or sort of like more of the, I don't want to do details and then have to, so I'm just planning. Really what I'm saying is you need to plan a little bit, and this needs to be a little more finished and dry so that I can start working around more than just the head. It's so weird to think about, and I never cared when I was younger, but now that like the future is here, like literally, it's kind of all I can think about. It's one of the like, I'm very fascinated. I didn't never like sci-fi stuff. Not interested in like sci-fi movies, or at least I wasn't. I just didn't hold my attention, but now it's kind of like, I can't believe how interested I am with updates in AI and stuff like that, because it's like, this is now, like you can, stuff is happening now, and I don't want to be ignorant towards that. And I'm fascinated, I'm generally interested in our developments in AI, because I know a lot of people that I talk to, they could care less. Doesn't affect them, they're not interested. So as a painter, I'm very fascinated with how AI affects my art. And like when I see images that I've never seen before, like AI generated images, they're very, like I find them to be very inspiring. Like, oh my God, I've never seen anything that looks like that. Even if it's like not good, it's just different. These manufactured images that are just beyond comprehension, and they're only getting better every day. Then you add video, and like wait till the day that we watch a movie and it's all just curated for the individual. They've talked, like, that's not a new idea, that's not my idea. They're already talking about making a movie where everything that happens is kind of geared to the viewer, the specific viewer. And it's not, like, it's really plausible to make that happen, where every person's viewing experience is slightly different or dramatically different, just based on algorithms and what you're interested in. How are they going to have Oscars for that when everyone's seen a different movie? It'll just be based on the technology, I guess. So again, I'm just painting this little table because I want to, hopefully later today, be able to paint over top of it. Let's now go to So instead of a a sailboat, we'll put like a traditional flying saucer using the same kind of maybe cartoonish elements. Pretty basic, but kind of hovering over C. Put the C in here. You think we'll meet aliens this lifetime? Like actual interaction? Where undeniable, not skewed or manufactured or questionable, like undeniable interaction. Just like basic communication. I don't think so. I think robot love is more realistic. Robot children, robot parents, robot spouses. That is way more plausible to me than actual interaction with another life force. I'm not just talking about like messing with bugs on Mars. I'm talking like actual like interaction with like another life form that has the ability to interact. Probably has the sophistication to interact with us rather. Don't think so. If anything, maybe interacting with other robots from life forces, maybe that's more realistic, right? Other robots from other planets. That would make sense than actual life forms. Because I could see us sending out sentient robots into space. Maybe they reach somewhere where they can interact. That would make a lot of sense. That's how we actually interact with another species from another planet, is through our own robots. That's a good prediction. No, come on. I like that prediction. Seems like likely now that I say it out loud. It won't be us. It'll be our robots that interact with aliens. Imagine the robots lie to us. Yes, we found another planet with... Let's make it up. Yeah, soon we're gonna have robots that like do stand-up comedy, have their own sense of humor. Just better than anything we can produce. We can rewrite jokes better than humans. Based on statistics, you should find this funny. probably worthwhile to get the couch into a decent position. Sometimes when you add details to the rest of the painting, it just makes your concept that much more valuable. So if I really want you to believe in what I'm painting, make the whole painting finished to some capacity, right? Like sometimes I really want to sell you on this idea, which isn't fully fleshed out, but I want to sell you on the painting. So I want to make sure I dedicate some time to making the rest of the painting like cohesive and flesh it out a little bit so that it gives more power to my actual idea. And believe it or not, like painting cartoons is time consuming because you're not just drawing them and you're not doing it digitally. So like painting actual like just like straight block colors is time consuming. But easy, and like you can get lost quite easily. You can I like it sometimes. If I didn't dedicate time to making the rest of the room like I definitely wouldn't like the painting as much, for sure. So it's important to almost like, for these kind of concepts, to really spend some time and finish. Make sure the idea is solid. The best way to make the idea solid is to, put some extra time and energy into the background. It makes your concept that much stronger. Gives you time to think too when you're just blocking things in. And it helps with my direction of the painting. Just getting more details and more of the, gives me a good inventory. That's the right word. Where is this painting actually? Where can it go? What potential does it have? And this will take all day to dry. So the quicker I get some of this blocking in, the better. This will take all day, where it won't even be touch dry necessarily, but I'll be able to work with it a little bit more later on. So I want to spend some time on this now so that later on I can finish some of these elements, or at least like get them to a really good stage. But you gotta spend some time on it and do it you have a system, because like I said, this is gonna take a while to dry. So hopefully by tonight, I'll really be able to see where I'm at. Another way of what I'm saying is, I think I used to, or a lot of people want to just finish the idea as fast as possible. Like you have an idea and you just get it out there. But the more time you dedicate to it, the more time you dedicate to it, it can really make the idea that much better and stronger. Even if it's not a genius idea or an idea that's really worth spending that much time on, which sounds like counterintuitive, but it just really gives the idea the best opportunity to shine that you can. I think that's important, because we're already past the stage of, is it a good idea or not? No, we're already painting it. So you've obviously determined that it's worth painting. Well, then make sure you paint it. Spend the time on the And some ideas aren't worth it. Some ideas aren't worth the energy. That's okay. You have to determine that. Kind of where I am today, if I'm going to paint something, I really want to give it the time it needs. That's important to me. Like, I don't love this. I don't think it's the greatest thing I've ever done. But I'm still willing to almost treat it like it is until I still have that energy to treat this like it's important, like it has meaning. This is just stylistically, I'm just playing again because there's going to be a period where I let this dry in front of a fan or in the sun all day. Yeah, it's an alien spaceship instead of a sailboat. What is the question people ask me the most? Is it, what kind of paint is that? It's oil paint. And this is acrylic. This is acrylic, and then I paint oil on top. Not every time, just depends on the piece, really. I like different colors, like yeah, I'm here. I feel like there's a lot more that I can do with this painting so far, so I'm pretty excited about it. Like, I think this is the starting stage. I don't think I want to make it messy. And I don't think I want it to, I think I kind of want to have a clear agenda, a clear concept. So I don't want to add a bunch of different subjects necessarily. So that's pretty clear in my mind already. And the reason why I'm putting these details in now with this is because I have a feeling this is going to protrude. Like this robot head is going to have wires and flames or something. So I want this to be as dry as possible, as soon as possible, so that later I can paint over top of it without, it just makes my process a lot easier. So that's just about planning when you're painting as much as you can. Some things are unforeseen and always will be, but some things you can really kind of map out early that will only benefit you later. And I just know that the sooner I have this mapped out, then I can paint over it, hopefully today. And when you're painting like wires and flames or translucent things, or you want the background to be somewhat at a finished state. So this area, I want it to look, I'm gonna have a hard time because the actual peach background will be for a later time. So you would start asking, I'm still thinking about like robot parents, like the mom and the dad and then a kid, or what else do you see in it? You've seen it in your dreams before? Yeah. Same, I think. We all had the same dream. What does that mean? I like the idea of robots traveling to like alternate dimensions. And almost like taking over. I feel like because they can just go wherever they want, even in like the fictitious landscape, not even in reality, they can just go everywhere. There's like no rules for the future. They can infiltrate landscapes that we thought were untouchable or unfathomable. They can go anywhere and just live there and kind of like take over. This is our world now. Your memories have been taken over. And what I'll do as well as this dries, I'll see if I can find some other characters that I want to bring in here that make some sense, or that I just want to add. right now I'm just making sure that the eyes are in the right. I'm still not trying to add detail as much as I am making sure the proportions are decent. I don't want to fix proportions later. I want to do it now. So like if this eye is actually further down or larger, let's do that now, not later. Again, trying to plan. I don't want to paint. Small details are unavoidable, that you're going to have to change some things. But the more I can do now as far as preparing to plan to let dry, the better it is for me when I come back on the painting later today. Whether it's a couple hours or in 6 hours or something. I don't want to, oh, I have to move this over, or oh, I have to do this. I don't want to do that. Same with the nose. The nose isn't, the nose is up. That helped. Like, let's figure out this mouth now, not in 6 hours. What are we gonna do here? Is it, so I just have basically putting in a shape, right? It's like a tear. If you look at it from the side, it looks like just an oval or a teardrop. Because I want to see what it looks like, right? Look, it's just a teardrop. That's it. Because where is the shape? Where's the actual mouth happening? And I jump around because I just see some things as I'm painting something else. So let's just work that out. I see this eye being a little larger, that's why I keep going around it. So I want to do that eye now, at least the shape. We got a very fine brush right now just for this shape, because I think we're getting closer. I'm just not sure about some of the lines. We'll just darken it up a little bit to see what we have. What are we dealing with here? Come down. Bigger is okay here. Oh, I messed up. Just take it away. Goodbye, my love. Hello. Hey everyone. Thanks guys. Billy, it's time for bed. Robot parents. Your robot parents are so cool, Billy. You're lucky. They let you stay up late. Robot parents. I think I want to do more robot parents. I think there's something there. Robot parents. Billy, it's time for dinner. Please be home by 6 o'clock. Do not be late. Robot parents. It'd be funny if robot parents like spank their children. You've been naughty, Billy. Robot parents. Billy, come to bed. Please change my battery, Billy. That's how Billy gets around some of the rules. He just lets the battery expire on his parents so he can stay out late, hang with his buds. Where were you, Billy? You said you would be home by 6 o'clock. I don't have to tell you, Mom. You're not the boss of me. Actually, Billy, I am your boss. And your mother. Robot parents. I technically own you, Billy, as we purchased you from a laboratory. Have you seen that AI stuff where they can make anyone kiss and like make out? How long do you think that's going to be like acceptable? Is it just now like you can just make anyone like interact sexually with whoever you want? And there's just no like, I'm not saying I don't like it. I kind of like it. It just seems like absurd that you could make celebrities kiss you. On a whim. I saw them like making so-and-so kiss Gollum from The Lord of the Rings. Mark Zuckerberg. That's crazy. Because it's just so absurd and defamatory, I think. Like, that's why I'm surprised that it has this much, like, I'm seeing advertisements for it on this app. And I think, like, that's crazy. So it's in my best interest now. This painting is going in the direction called Robot Parents. So let's put maybe one here. In this case, you need two, because that's my concept now. I figured out what I was doing all along. I am painting robot parents. They have a child that they purchased, and they're raising it. And I think it's kind of like a human child, or like something of the sort. So I kind of didn't want to add anything else, but based on the concept really needs two parents in the household to raise this kid that they've adopted. So here we are, robot parents. This will be in the same playing field as this guy, but it's a slightly different angle or something. Right now I'm just playing on what I've been working on now, but adding my own character, I guess, because I want to. And I don't want them to be exactly the same. They're different models. They have different genders or different prototype. They're different, not manufacturers, same manufacturer, but different models, I guess. Right? Models. And not too small. They do need to be dominating and domineering. They're not just, something you can avoid if you're little Billy. They have a pretty strong grip on your existence. They are your parents, after all. Your robot parent. Robot parents. Robot parents. Sure we got. Same manufacturer, different models. You didn't finish your soup, Billy. You can't go outside until you finished your soup. Let's put something here. He looks a little small. I think you kind of want it to be a little more dominating. So, see how I mapped it out? Futurama character. Dick and Morris. Can I ask? It's an oil painting, yeah. This is acrylic, this is oil. Futurama, I started as a kid, maybe a young adult, catching the beginning of Futurama, and that's where I also left it. I know it has like a big following and it did alright. Like, I don't even know, is it still on? Or is it finished? I assume it's finished, right? Is Futurama still... Are they still making new episodes? Anyways, this guy's got to be a little bit bigger. I kind of want to make it at least the same size. Even if the perspective is he's a little further back in the living room, I think he'll have like a shadow here maybe. I don't want him to be... I found that he just looked a little bit too small, almost like, you know, not realistic compared to this one. And I don't want him to be just a balloon head. There has to be like... So we'll cut off his balloon here so that he just doesn't look like a round orb. He is a parrot after all. Let's see if we can give him like a little bit of masculine features so that he's distinguishable from his mother, from his spouse. Cool. Yeah, I'll give, like, I was raised on The Simpsons, and Futurama is, I don't think it's good or bad, I just don't know very much. I watched it when it first came out, what, 20 years ago? And I was probably like a young adult, so it just didn't hold my attention. But now I'm certainly willing to give it another shot. Did it finish strong? Like, did it have like a good finale and like go somewhere, or was it just like it just dropped? I'm talking about Futurama. Did Futurama end strong, or did it just kind of like fall apart and fall away, fall off a cliff? We'll also give him some like distinguishable features here too. So let's go here. But what I'm saying is let's kind of like an antenna or something, like let's go. I want him to be different. The dad is more quirky. More quirky dad. Like that. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Now let's add a little bit of, let's brighten out the values here because again, I want to let this dry. And I don't want him to be too dark everywhere. Gotta brighten him up a bit. The features might not get done right now, but I want to at least the shading. He's dark over here. That's fine. So like you could, in theory, like the shadows will be kind of discombobulated, which I'm always okay with. I'm not trying to have consistent shadows in my alternate universe unless it's really apparent. They all have their own light sources too. There's a lot of reasons why the shadows might be inconsistent. Thanks, Ren. Yeah, with go small, go snail. Yeah, I'm not opposed to Futurama at all. In fact, I can see why you would suggest it. Yeah, I think it would be smart for me. Get some good ideas too. I'm just adding like basically black here because I want to, I keep saying this, but I think it's really important. I'm mapping things out so that this piece can dry for a few hours in front of the fan or in the sun, so that when I come back to it later, I can really attack it where I bring it to life. And the more paint that I have laid out in the right spots, the more I enjoy it when I come back later. When the paint's tacky and somewhat dry a little bit. If I neglect some areas, then it's just more work for me later. So I want to take this opportunity now to get as much as I can in place, just based on shapes and the premise, the concept. Okay, got it in there. I like him. Kind of a square mouth, I think, is better. Right? Yeah. And they're somewhat the same size. But again, if he's a little bit too dark, let's brighten him up. because I think it's time for lunch. And now this can dry for a while. And after, when I come back, it's really fun to so even before I let you go, same eyes. Robot parents. Robot parents. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Later today. Probably when you're either getting up or midday. Thanks for watching, everyone.